Yo, Joe, Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. I know I'm way behind on these. I just sort of sat and waited for them to come from Pulse because I had so much other stuff to review, and I was working a ton, so I knew at the day job, I just knew I wasn't going to have time to review these. So I was like, I'll just wait for them from Pulse. And now they're here and I'm going to review them. Here is Outback, Stuart Outback Selkirk. Now, I've already reviewed the Tiger Force version that came out months ago. This is the one that's based more on his original appearance in the Real American Hero line in the 80s. We've got his specialties on the side. Go to GIJoe.com if you care about that. Back of the box, while I would like to see a cross-sell, I like this better than the old mural that they used to have. I love that artwork at first, but honestly, I'd really rather have just a look at the figure and what's in this package. So, looks good. Cool. The box it's the windowless packaging. It's fine. It doesn't bother me. I will admit it, though. I'll say it here. I said it on Audible Interlude, and I'll say it again here. It turns out I'm glad the windows are coming back. I still don't really want the plastic trays back, but it really is like stuff like this that I know I'm going to buy no matter what. It doesn't matter. But as far as casual purchases, I just don't buy stuff in stores anymore because when the window's not there, I'm just not enticed by the figure. So yeah, well, although maybe that's a good thing because I've been spending less on toys. I don't know. Anyway, I would love to continue to reduce the use of single-use plastics. I'm glad they're using some kind of more biodegradable plastic or whatever they're doing. But we need the windows back. And that's also for the mint and box collectors who, as I've always said, I don't understand mint and box collecting, but they are an important part of the collector space. We need their money going to these lines. So we got to look out for those guys too. All right. I'm going to put the weapons locker to the side. I dig the weapons locker. I like it. And we'll take a look at, man, it's crazy to me how different he looks from the Tiger Force one. And this is why I dig, those Tiger Force repaints, the Crimson Bat, stuff like that. That's part of what's fascinating about the Classified series to me is seeing the differences and how they use those parts and how they repaint things to make them different. That's just part of the fun of the line. Man, that is awful. Look at those elbows and how much of an eyesore that is because his skin looks so great. It has this reddish, I guess that's supposed to be arm hair. At first I thought it was like sunburn. I don't know, I can't tell. So is that sunburn or is that arm? Or is that hair? I think that's hair. So that's arm hair. But like those elbows are just a completely different color. And look, you guys know, like I'm the Hasbro shill boy. I love everything Hasbro does without reservation. Which if you pay any attention to my reviews, you know that's not true. These elbows look absolutely horrible to me. The knees don't bother me as much because they could, honestly, I'd rather, if they're not going to match the colors to the pants, I'd rather them just be a completely different color. Just make them black or something. The knees are not as much of an eyesore, but those elbows, I mean, look, from the front even, that is just awful. What do we got going on with the portrait here? His eyes are off center. He's got like this weird McFarlane looking off to the side thing going on. But I do like those bright blue eyes. And it's not so bad. His headband, one thing that I've heard is people's headbands are not painted correctly. It looks like mine is good. If you notice, the hair looks like it's two separate. So the hair on top is a separate piece that's attached to up here where the headband is. It's a great look. I think they did a really nice job. I mean, the sculpt is, well, we'll go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and do the little comparison here. So look at the elbows on our Tiger Force Outback, which I like his paler skin as well. Those elbows, pretty much match. It's not perfect, but they pretty much match the surrounding plastic versus the elbows on this guy. My gosh. Oh, okay. So otherwise, let me move on. I don't want to be obsessed with the elbows, even though they're pretty bad. This is actually different tooling. I didn't realize, and I never know how much you guys can really see. Let me try and get my lighting a little better here. I hope you enjoyed that noise. Yeah. Well, no, it's the same. It's the same. I was looking at the wrinkles on the Tiger Force Outback, and it looked like they were more defined, but they're really not. It's the same. Okay. But they are, I feel, a little more visible. Maybe it's the pale skin or the gray hair. You're kind of looking for wrinkles more. I don't know what the deal is. But just at a casual glance, the wrinkles look more noticeable on the Tiger Force version. So there's our comparison. You can see he's got the Tampo on the Tiger Force shirt, just survival on this one. Paint-wise, I bet Tiger Force does not have a painted belt. Nope, I'm wrong. It does have a painted belt. So it looks like paint app-wise, we're pretty close as far as what they've got. I like both of these figures quite a bit. I can't honestly say, whoops. Left a backpack over here. I can't honestly say, I really only need one of these. I like both of them. But as I've said before, I've got a separate shelf for like the various repaints, forces, whatever they're going to be called. These leg straps seem to be out of place a lot more with the more current releases. It doesn't matter. You can slide them right down. I'm not going to bother doing it now because I've already reviewed this figure before. I don't want to spend a ton of time on this guy. I do like that he's got the original colors for the web gear. Everything looks cool there. Oh, I should have the original Outback in here to compare him to. Okay, so here's new guy, and here is original survival Outback. Just a little comparison side by side. Here is one thing that the classified team really needs to work on, in my personal opinion. The contrast in their camouflage. They really, really need to get on that, because at a glance, this Outback barely has camouflage on his pants, and clearly this older one has a great camo pattern. That would be one of my top wants. Oh, speaking of my wants for this, yeah, he has lost the... Why are we focusing on a little tiny guy? Okay. He has lost the hinge at the top of the neck. So the two things that I want most for the Classified series is everybody should have the neck hinge that the older figures had, and they really need to get the camouflage contrasting better. There's no excuse for this just being so subtle, and this isn't toyetic. Like, what is this? This is just a muddy sort of, be bold with your camo. And I'm not saying everything has to be like blue and orange, but choose some colors that contrast nicely. Make nice looking toys. If I wanted dull, strictly military colored figures, I know where to go buy them. Classified is not... G.I. Joe is not the line that I expect that from. So let's get on that, Hasbro. All right. So other than those, well, okay, I'm going to call the camouflage thing a nitpick, like a desire to be better. The elbows are just awful. That's got to be fixed. But everything else about this guy looks great. I really dig him. He's awesome. He looks like Outback should look, but kind of updated and cooler and obviously taller, But looks good. I dig the figure itself. I'll put him on the shelf. I don't know what's going on with the eyes, because they don't look bad. It's not like they're printed out of place, but he has that weird McFarlane looking off to the side thing, and I would rather not have that in any action figure lines that I collect. All right, so let's stand him up here. That's kind of how you have to stand these sometimes. Take a look in his Foot Locker, number 63, Stuart Outback Selkirk. Boop, 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 boop. I promise that's the last time I'm going to do that. I know I wear out jokes that are very thin to begin with. All right, we've got our nice crinkly packaging, all of our accessories. Just be sure you give that thing a good squeeze like a tube of toothpaste. You don't want any little tiny stuff left in there when you throw that thing out. Unless you're keeping it, which if you are, good for you, that's fine. All right, so accessory-wise, these are all in black, which is different from the sort of dark brown that the Tiger Force Outback had. The backpack is a lighter brown, more like the original Outback. The pistol, the wrap is kind of the same color. Oh, now that's interesting. Let's take a look at that. So that looks about the same. Color-wise they're different, but sculpt-wise they're pretty much the same. Let's get that magazine in there. Still not entirely clear on which way this goes in. Ooh, look at that. The gun's a little bent up, but I mean, a little heat will fix that. It's not great, but what are you going to do? But I want to take a look at these pistols because it looks like the grip, the grip is smaller on the newer pistol. Isn't that interesting? Maybe it's not. It is to me. The pistol itself is... The Tiger Force pistol is a little sort of thicker. Not much, just a little tiny bit thicker. Very interesting. There's probably as good a look as I can give you at those. Not a major difference, but it's weird that it's different at all. Because the whole point of this guy, or these guys, is that they're repaints. So let's see how well this pistol fits in that hand. Thanks to the trigger finger, I imagine it will fit really nicely. Yeah, it's perfect. No problem at all there. So we'll put that in the holster for safekeeping. I would love to see some hip holsters showing up in this line. That would be great. Backpack is going to plug in through the web gear into the back, in theory. There we go. His web gear probably needs a little adjustment. I might heat that up and kind of reposition. Well, it may stay where I want it to. I was going to say I might heat it up and reposition it, but that's probably not necessary. So detail-wise, the backpack, yeah, that one didn't have any paint on it either. So no paint on the backpack, which is fine. That's not a problem at all. He's got his little submachine gun, his shovel, which I really like. I'm still not a huge fan of the peg system here. I feel like I'd prefer something else. And also I still haven't figured out this other peg. Like, it doesn't make any sense to put his gun on it. His flashlight does not have a hole, because that would make sense to plug his flashlight into it. Neither flashlight has any paint on the lens. I kind of wish they had done that. It almost looks like the lens is a little darker on this one. Maybe there is a... no, I don't think so. I would have liked that to be gray or white or something. But then that flashlight plugs right into that leg strap there. I'm not going to worry too hard about getting it in there. I said that, and here I am making sure it gets in. I just feel like I've already reviewed this figure in a weird way. And then finally his knife, which does have paint on the blade. I love that. I feel like that should be the case for any knives in this line. Slides right into that sheath on the leg. And then we'll go ahead and just give him his gun, even though I need to heat that up and straighten it out a little bit. Man, that strap is stiff. All right, and there you go. There he is, just regular Outback. Overall, I like it. I think they did a nice job conceptually of bringing the character into this scale, but the elbows are, to me, inexcusable. I'm not going to return it or anything, but it's just ugly. But everything else, I mean, they did a pretty nice job with this guy. Those eyes, though, just weird, odd. But the paint on the hair looks great. So there he is. There's Outback. I'm glad I've got him. I wish he didn't have the little flaws that he has, but overall, he's going to look good on the shelf. There you go. I like the Tiger Force one better, to be honest, but I'm glad I've got this guy. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things, and as always, yo, Joe!
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.